Welcome back, everybody. This is episode number 47 on my podcast. We just hit 1K the other day, so thank you all for that. So, this is a big episode here, Jay. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
What do you go by? What should I, Jay Gotti, Jay Mitchell? What do you want me to refer to you as?
I prefer just Jay, but everybody from the show usually knows me as JG. JG, I don't care. Either one is fine.
All right, so I'm gonna give you a proper introduction.
Let's hear it.
From the real world explosion, JG, what's up?
You practiced that one, I could tell. What's going on, pal? How's everything?
Dude, man, I get all discombobulated with the whole real world intro because it was your season. It started like that 3 or 4 season stretch where it was like explosions, skeletons, bad blood, go bigger. So I get a little discombobulated because they had you and skeletons back to back. So I actually, I don't know if you know who Bruno is, but I had him on earlier, like a few months ago, and we right before we rolled, I was like, "Oh, your season was like skeletons, right?" And he was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And then as soon as I introduced him, I said explosion. So,
that's great. Yeah, I know Bruno very well. I actually worked with him for a bit. We hosted spring break together a couple of years back, but yeah, we were the first season that they decided to flip the script and do all that craziness with.
Yeah, it was what could I say? It started like kind of like a 4 season stretch where like I wouldn't say that like that was kind of like the stem of why the real world stopped, but I think like after you guys it was kind of like an experiment from there, and then they ended up doing away with the whole thing altogether. And then a year ago I think they brought back like in Atlanta that was only on Facebook Watch or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that coming out. That seemed very weird to me that they were doing it just strictly on Facebook, but my understanding was that the ratings were going down. And listen, I watched Real World when I was younger, and then I stopped. The ratings were going down, so they were like, all right, what could we do to spice it up? Oh, sure, let's just screw Jay and his friends, and we'll bring all the X's in, change the format, all that good shit, which was a double-edged sword for me. But the ratings were going down, so they needed to flip the script a bit, so that's why they did that. And it worked well. Our ratings were very high up. But then if you think about it, they changed it to skeletons, bad blood, all that. But it was all the same exact thing. There was different names, but it was the exact same thing. You went there for a couple of weeks. They brought people in that you didn't want to see, and then they played it out. So it was like, I liked the change, but then they just kind of had nowhere to go with it.
No, yeah, definitely. You guys were like the debut of the format, so I think you guys you guys obviously had like a compelling cast. I think Skeletons got away with it a little bit because they had Tony, Bruno, Sylvia, and all those people. So I think they were able to maybe get away with it. Then like the last 2 seasons of Real World, it was just like, I mean, no slight towards anybody that was on the cast, but it showed. It showed that.
I don't even think I know the names of anybody on the cast after Skeletons, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I in my opinion, it was a good move. I mean, I wish they would have waited till This is why I say it's a double-edged sword, because it was the first time that they ever changed the format. The promotion was absurd. They put us on Wendy Williams. We were in Rolling Stone magazine. Like, ironically, my picture's the one in Rolling Stone magazine. So pumped about that, by the way. But it was like the promotion was ridiculous. So it was awesome in that aspect. Our social media jumped way bigger than anyone else before us. But you sign up to be 7 people trying to go out and get laid and have fun, and then 5 seconds in, your ex-girlfriend walks in the room, and it's like, really? Like, that's what you're going to do to me? I thought I was going to have time of my goddamn life, and no, now I got to deal with my ex. So it's a double-edged sword, in my opinion, all right?
Right. But yeah, how has whole COVID adjustment been for you? Because I know, you're in the New York area. I'm also, not too far from there as well. And I know we kind of got hit with it like a ton of bricks in the beginning, at least. But we're on pace to control it now. How has that kind of been for you?
Yeah, you're a Jersey boy, right?
Yeah, I'm 15 from Times Square.
Ah, okay, nice. Not bad. Yeah, so you're actually very close to me then. Man, COVID sucks, bro. 2020 is shit. It's like, everyone's got high hopes and all, and 2020 was like, nope, no one's doing anything good. It sucks. I mean, the thing is, I'm working through all of this. Like I never had that time period. I know even now everyone's off and people are collecting unemployment or people are just losing their minds. I'm a firefighter for the city of New York, so I have been working through this entire thing, which is great because I'm still getting a paycheck, but it's scary as all hell because I'm walking into people's houses every damn day. We got runs coming across, and it's like, yeah, go help this guy. He's got a fever, a sore throat, he's coughing, and he's throwing up. I'm like, oh my God. They're like, oh, by the way, he can't smell or taste. I'm like, yep, fire me. Someone fire me. Like, I quit right now. You know what I mean? It sucks. So I'm not losing my mind because I'm not technically quarantined like the rest of the world because I'm still working every day. So it kind of goes both ways, I guess. But man, this world is gone to shit.
Yeah, I saw a meme on I think it was Twitter or Instagram yesterday, and it was showing like the months of 2020 so far.
Yo, I seen that. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
January, February, and then it was like it had like an A for August. Because I mean, it couldn't be more true. This fucking year's flown by, dude.
It's true. It's true. There's another good one too, and it was like it had like January and it was like the COVID. Then it was February and it had like the killer bees. And then March was like the 3 hurricanes that came through or whatever the hell it was. It was like every month so far in 2020 has just been a fucking disaster.
Oh, no doubt.
And my son's gone. My son is already gone. Oh God, it sucks. That's the one thing that sucks is bars are closed, clubs are closed. You go outside and it's like you walk into the 99-cent store without a mask and somebody wants to stab you for it. It's fucking absurd.
Yeah.
I can't with this shit, man. And we in New York, Jersey, we got crushed. And then there was like a month and a half ago, let's say 5 weeks ago, there was some light at the end of the tunnel for me because Manhattan opened up outside bars. Like they were serving out the window. So me and my buddy, we'd go down to Manhattan. They serve you out the window. You're wearing your mask, but they serve you out the window. And then you were allowed to be outside. So you could walk to the next bar and they'd serve you out the window. So then you get another drink. Finish your drink as you're walking to the next bar. And now you're talking there were girls everywhere, guys everywhere. Everyone's hanging out on the streets, on the corners, drinking, all this. It was like some sense of normalcy. And then Cuomo real quick was like, boop, nope, we're going back to no fun. Now you have to order food and sit down. So everyone who started having fun again, go back to hiding inside your house. World's over again. So I'm not a fan of him. And now I'm back to being stuck in the goddamn house.
Yeah, dude. They just actually opened up gyms Tuesday in Jersey, at least.
Oh, at least you have that. See, I lucked out because we have a gym at the firehouse. So I've been fine with that, but I haven't been able to go to CrossFit. My box is closed. They supposed to open up a month ago. Then it was 3 weeks ago. Then it was 2 weeks ago. It's like, oh my God. First of all, just open the fucking gyms. Second of all, everyone's going to get COVID again anyway, so it doesn't really matter what you do. And we've been good. We've handled it very well. Our numbers are down compared to Cali and everywhere else. So it's like, you know what? Just give us just a little bit of freedom, please.
A little bit, you know.
I ask for is a little bit. There's only so much Jack I could drink in my house by myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think we should get into the topics that everyone came here for. They might come crazy for us for
I was trying to avoid those at all costs. So okay.
Yeah. Let's just dive right into this thing. But before I get into the real world or challenge related questions, maybe briefly, could I ask you maybe where you get the Gotti name for? Was that something that you just kind of came up with, or?
It was. I've heard this 1,000 times, and if you search it, it comes up. When I was younger, I mean, and I'm talking like 16 years old probably, that everyone had blowouts, everyone had their gold chains, and I had a massive blowout. I'm not even going to deny it. And then that show Growing Up Gotti came out, and all 3 of them had blowouts. And I used to go out to the bar, and people would come up to me and be like, yo, you're on that show, right? You're on that show. And then all my friends would we'd go out and they just, like they do now at Real World, they'd just be like, yo, aren't you from that show? And then someone would turn around and look and be like, oh yeah, that is you. So then everyone just started saying it. And then I didn't embrace it. I don't mind it, but I didn't embrace it because it's not my name and it is their name. but it just became what other people called me. And then when I went to try out, they're like, wait, you were on that show. And I'm like, no, I'm like, no, I wasn't on that show. So the name just kind of stuck. And then I didn't really care. So, I've tried to get away from it. And that's why I just say JG. But it was just the name given to me randomly. And the girls liked it and it stuck, I guess.
Hey, sometimes, you you have a name once, it just kind of, follows you forever, you know?
Dude, it stayed with me, and I was never able to get rid of it. And then getting on the show, once people started Googling and adding me, they were adding me like onto Wikipedia as Jay Gotti, and I'm like, oh my God, like this took on a whole life of its own now.
Well, you also had another Mitchell on your cast as well.
Facts.
She wasn't there she wasn't there very long, but
she wasn't.
But we'll get into her though, because
yeah, she's a star now.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely get into that because it's just crazy to me to think with your real world season. But I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. But a major focal point in what I like to ask my guests in the beginning of these podcasts is kind of their casting story. Could you maybe walk me through yours?
My casting story? I don't even know what that means. I signed up and they were like, yeah, you're hired. That's my casting story. Here I am talking to you now.
That was no, go to open tryouts.
No, I did. And I'll run through this very quickly because it ties into, which I 100% know you're going to get into later, and everyone always does. But me getting on the show was 100% fake. Like, it was meant to happen. There's no doubt in my mind. My mother got an email. Don't know why she was signed up for it or whatever happened, but she got an email, MTV casting. She called me, was like, hey, they're casting for The Real World in a couple weeks. You should totally go. I was managing a bunch of bars. I was an MC. I was doing all that shit. She's like, instead of introducing all the celebrities, like, be one. You deserve it. Like, be one. So I was like, yeah, sure. She's yelling at me. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'll do it, Ma. I'll do it. Lo and behold, the day comes. I wake up bombed, hungover as a motherfucker. My mother's calling my phone 50 times. I'm like, what do you want? Hungover. She's like, you're going. You have to go. So just to shut her up, I'm like, all right, I'm going. I get dressed. I put on some clothes. I go down to the city for it's an open casting call, whatever. I get there, and I'm in Manhattan now, and there's 1,000 people on the line out the door. And there's no parking. So I go around the block. There's no parking. I go around 3 other blocks. No parking. I'm hungover. I'm like, call my mother. I'm like, Ma, I'm not driving in circles for the next fucking 4 days for this. Said, I'm going home. Said, Jay, go around one more time. At least do me a favor and go around one more time and just check. All right, one more time. Bye. I go around the block. There's these 2 gigantic, like big double doors to where we're supposed to walk into. And I kid you not, the car parked directly in front of those doors. Pulls out as I turn the corner. And I was like, God damn it, I guess I really have to do this. Like, what are the odds that happens? So I parked. I called my mother, said, you lucky fuck, I'm going in. I'll call you later. And I went in, and it was like you sit at a table with 12 other people. They give you 30 seconds to talk about yourself. Some girl said something crazy. Some other girl said something crazy. So I got up, basically hit on both of them while doing my thing. And then they were like, all right, everybody keep your phones on. We'll call you tomorrow. Just, Jay, hang back real quick. We want to ask you something. I was like, all right, cool. So I hang back. They're like, yeah, congratulations. You're going to step 2. I was like, so you just lied to everybody that you told them to keep their phones on and you're going to call them tomorrow? You just lied to all of them. They're like, yeah, pretty much. I was like, fantastic. Filled out 1,000 fucking pages of paperwork. And then it was like, I think it was a 6-month process. It was like every week they wanted something else. It was like, all right, we're going to Skype 3 of your friends. All right, we're going to Skype 3 of your neighbors. We want you to make a home video now. All right, now we want to call 3 of your friends. All right, cool. Now we want to talk to your immediate family. All right, next week. Now we want to talk to 3 more of your friends. Like, it got to the point where I was running out of friends. Like, how many more fucking people you need to talk to? I don't know anybody else. And it was like each week that they were doing that, what they were doing was they were knocking people off the list. So they had like 1,000 people, and every week they knocked 100 people off. And I just kept going through that whole process until finally I somehow, I think they said 77, I'll never forget this number, 77,000 people tried out and they took 7. So it was like 1% or some shit like that. Like, that's, I'm telling you, it was meant to happen, dude. And then obviously everyone knows what happened with my mom, which I'm sure, like I said, you're going to ask later. So it's just it was fate that that all happened the way it happened, and I ended up getting on because of her.
Wow, dude, that's that is pretty. That does sound like fate. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I've never encountered something like that in my life, and then after everything that transpired after that, it was just like, wow, like that was meant to be. She always wanted me to do it, and it was meant to be, man.
Yeah, so coming on to that season, it obviously ended up being Explosion. Did you have any idea or know like that was what's going to be happening? You should go there feeling like the man, chilling, and then all of a sudden, Jenna walks in.
I had absolutely no clue. I don't care what anyone says. It was not staged. None of us had any fucking clue. Like we thought, we thought it was going to be 7 people. You go out, you go to the bar, you bring home whoever you want. You get laid every day. You got cameras following you. Like this is going to be awesome. I had never really flown before because my mom was sick for so long. But this was kind of the first time, and she wanted me to do it. So it was like, all right, I'm doing this for you. I don't want to be far away from her because if, God forbid, anything happens. And she was just like, no, you're doing this. Like, this is for you. So I went and was like, all right, we're going to go out. We're going to get laid every night. Like, that's the goal. And, dude, me, Corey, Tom, like, we started going out and just, we weren't even talking to regular, like, ordinary girls. We were bringing home the bottle waitresses, the fucking DJs, like the waitresses, like the owners, like we were bringing like the hot of the hot girls as the girls that we were trying to mack it to and whatnot. And then one day we went out, the next day we came home and there were strange people in our kitchen.
Yeah, but were you? It was obviously Explosion, like hence the name X, but did you have any contact with Jenna in that moment? Like, how did that process for her work in the sense of like, you get on the casted for the show and then she's brought on as your ex. Did they ask you like who your ex was, or they like how did that all work?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, we didn't know the name of the show was Explosion. It's just Real World. We were told it was Real World. No one ever said Explosion. No one said it's Real World San Francisco. Like we didn't even know where we were going until I landed. That's how I landed. You hear me? I don't even speak English anymore. Till I got on my flight and they were like, "Yeah, you're going to San Francisco, obviously." But like I said, it was such a long process like you asked about that casting process. It was like a 6-month process, and every week they're talking to my friends, they're talking to my family, they're talking to my neighbors, they're talking to me. So they wanted to know everything about my life, but not hear it from me. So obviously, everyone, they're going to ask questions about your exes. Did I ever think for 1 second that they were going to bring my ex on the show? No, absolutely not. But in hindsight, if I didn't have the ex in that system, then they probably wouldn't have brought me on the show. It goes both ways. I had no clue. They asked a million questions. They asked about my exes from 3rd grade. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to get on the show. So you're like, yeah, I banged this girl. I banged that girl. I dated this girl. I dated that girl. Other girls that I dated prior to me even being on the show ended up being on other shows. Mm-hmm. So it was like, I'm just raffling names off and like, yeah, I banged this one. Yeah, I hung out with this one. Like, yeah, I have exes. Oh, yeah, me and my ex did this or this. You know what I mean? Like, you're trying to get on the show, so you're giving them everything. My friends are giving them everything. Jenna's an attractive girl. I'm not denying that. So, it helps. And then you're just like, all right, yeah, look, these are my lineup of exes. They're all hot. Yeah. Which means I can go out on Real World and get whatever girl I want, like playing the game. I didn't know that they were just trying to figure out my ex situation and throw them onto the show with me.
Right. But now I kind of want to ask you about the dynamic, or your thoughts at least, on the dynamic between Corey and Brian.
Oh, that was fun. Dude, there's so much about that, like, about the whole show in general that I would change if I could go back, or not change, just be different, because I was trying to, oh my God, I'm like stepping over myself. That was absurd, first of all, because Corey starts banging Jenny and Corey and I are cool. Then all of a sudden Brian shows up and Brian came in hot. And you're talking about 6 weeks of the 3 guys getting to know each other. And then Brian comes in and he wasn't afraid of Corey. He wasn't afraid to say anything to Corey. So he would run his mouth and then Corey would run his mouth right back. And it just every day was like what's going to happen now? And not for nothing, but that kid is fucking whacked out of his mind. I don't know if he is now, but back then, he was a strange motherfucker. He ended up being cool, but he was weird. He's out there, and it just led to so much of like, what did he just, is he serious? Like, that's how half the day went when he would speak. And then him and Corey just obviously didn't jive, and he would say something to Corey, and Corey would be like, that's great, I banged your girl. And then it was just like, oh, here we go. Now we got to run over and break them up because we know they're going to fight again. It was a mess. It was a mess. And Jenny egged that shit on every day. If her and Brian got into an argument, it was like, well, Corey did yell at me. And it was like, here we go. Here we go. And then it would get everyone riled up again. Like, she would just throw shit in his face. And it just, every day was, you never knew what Jenny you were going to get. You never knew what fight was going to happen. It was a mess.
No, yeah, for sure. And I think that a lot of people were at least hoping we were going to see, if not one or both of Jenny and Brian on the challenge. Like that, you guys, your debut season was X's. So, they could have, if that thing would have worked out, they could have ended up being like maybe either Jenny with Corey, Brian and Jenny, instead of the Are You the One kids.
I think they were trying to get Corey and Jenny, but Jenny and Brian had gotten back together. So I think I
didn't read that too. Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I don't remember so far back, but I think that's what happened. And I think they also contacted, it was like they wanted the whole damn, like my whole season on, because they obviously hit up Jen and I believe they hit up Corey and Jenny, but like I said, Jenny had gotten back with Brian, so they were like, oh no, we can't do that. And I think Jamie was like, if Tom's going to be there, I want nothing to do with it, so I'm not even going to take the risk. And I think it was something like that, something along those lines. I'm not really sure, but it ended up with Tom and Haley being on it, which was fine with me because I had somebody there from my season that I at least knew.
Yeah. But now since, we're on the topic of your season, two people that I want to bring up, which circumstances are crazy to me. One is Ashley, who got, what was she, evicted on like the first episode or something like that?
Dude. Yeah.
She goes on to, win 2 times on the challenge. Let alone get, like, many people thought she wouldn't even get casted on the show. Because, what the sample size was so small from Real World to where it's like, why are we going to bring her on? You know what I mean? So she goes on to win twice. And then for a bit, she was, now she's actually a millionaire. For a bit, she was, up until this last season, she was the highest winning money-wise in the history of the challenge. And then we're talking about your ex, Jenna, who's brought on for you. And then she goes on to then go and do, what is it, like maybe 7 or so shows now. And both, they've been like vocal, I wouldn't say faces, but they've been very prominent females in like the franchise in the last few years. So what is your thoughts on that?
Yeah, they definitely have. Even Corey too. Corey's obviously doing a million things now as well. It's always funny because I always get the like, oh, you made Jenna, or Jenna was nothing without you because I brought her on the show. And it's like, I brought her on she came on the show because of me, yes, but she's her own person and she's doing very well. She's an attractive girl, right? Very pretty. She works well with other people. The whole Ashley thing, I really didn't think they would cast her. She was on 2 episodes of my Real World, but then again, she was such a wacko on our season that it was like, maybe she could turn shit upside down. So I see where they were going with it. Didn't think it was actually going to happen. And lo and behold, yeah, she ends up winning one, and now she's been on like 1,000 shows. Jenna went one after another repeatedly. And the other aspect is funny because people are like, oh, you suck. It was your fault. You guys lost. So that's why you're not on anymore. And they gave her a second chance because it was your fault. That's not true. So to clear that up, I did get called for the next season, which was where they brought the family member on. My brother had just got on the job as a police officer. So we were in the middle of doing it, and then he got the call to be a cop. And I was like, don't even, you're not risking it. That's a career. It's a great job. Take it. So I didn't do that next season. That's why I didn't do that. Then the following one, something else had happened, and it was like I wasn't able to do it. And then the next two I said no to because I was in the academy for the fire department. And then the one after that they called me for again. I was out of the academy, but I just got to my firehouse. I couldn't be like, hey guys, I'm here. I'm going to leave for 8 weeks. So I had to turn that one down as well. So then once I turned down, then it had been like 6 shows or 4, I guess maybe 4 or 5 shows I wasn't on. Then they started bringing on people from Big Brother and people from all these other shows. It was a much bigger pool. Then I didn't get called for the next like 2 or 3. And I've gotten called for the most recent 3. I've also gotten called for X on the Beach. And I got called for another one as well. But I didn't get the official call on those last 3. I got the availability call, but didn't get the official call. So for all those people who think that it was all my fault and that's why I'm not on them anymore, you are fucking wrong. Things played out the way they played out, and I don't regret any of it because I have a great job and I'm very happy with where I'm at. Will I go back on? Would I go back on and do another one? 100%, because obviously I have something to prove, but that's why. And Jenna had the opportunity to. She wasn't working a full-time career, so she was able to go on every next one, and I'm more power to her, bro. I root for her.
Wow. Yeah, so that clears up a lot of things for a lot of people. They've been wondering, and that probably takes away like 3 of my points. So we don't have to.
Sorry about that. I'm not trying to do that, but it's just
good.
these are the things that I hear repetitively on comments on my Instagram or on Twitter, or other people do these podcasts and they're like, oh yeah, they don't call Jay back. TJ keeps telling him no because he quit. It's like that's not true. You can think what you want, but that's not true. So just to clear the air. That's why. It's been a choice by me and then a choice by them in the long run. Shit just, the pieces didn't fall into place. But like I said, everything happens for a reason, and I'm happy where I'm at, so.
That's right. But, we don't have to spend too much time on that now. I'm glad we knocked that out really quick. But I'm going to ask you now, since we'll stay on Ashley a little bit, because I want to ask, how aware or did you see her stealing the money from her partner a few seasons ago when she became the millionaire?
Oh. God, dude, that is horrible. I don't care what anyone says. Bananas did it to Sarah. Ashley did it to Hunter, right?
Yeah.
First of all, that is so fucked up. I don't care who you are. You have to have some moral, compass in your body to just be like, hey, I can't do that. How would you feel if you were on the other end of that? I mean, that's fucking devastating. That is crushing, mind-blowing. I'm surprised people didn't want to blow their brains out after doing that. To do all of that and then just $500,000 or whatever it was, oh yeah, no, you're not going to take that. I would have cried my eyes out. I could never do that to somebody. That is gut-wrenching. I don't know how she did it. I don't know how. Johnny's a dick, so I don't really care. Of course, he could do it. But Ashley does have a good heart. So when she did that, I was just mind blown. It's devastating, dude. You just ruined that kid's life. That's $500,000 is life-changing for anyone. $1 million, yes, I can see it. Absolutely life-changing. But to ruin someone's life over money, I can't do it. I was not brought up that way. I just can't personally do it. I hate the fact that she did it because I like her a lot. Johnny, I could care less.
No, yeah, but that's definitely if she already wasn't permanently engraved in the challenge for years to come.
Well, that's one way to do it.
Yeah, she stamped her, she stamped her ticket, man. Doing that because now she's pretty much guaranteed. If there's a show, if she wants to be on, she's gonna be on. You know what I mean?
I agree 100%. Yeah.
So it's pretty much up to her now. Whenever she's gonna stop doing them, because
it's crazy. Yeah, that was that's. Oh man, you still got even now. You got me that's. I was so upset when it happened to Sarah, and upset when it happened to Hunter because that's just. Think of it as a regular, ordinary person. If someone was like, I'm going to give you $500,000, right now for you, in your head, you're like, I'd buy a house, I can invest, I can do this, I'd buy a fucking new car, I'd buy 7 cars. And then 2 seconds later, they're like, you know what? Give me that back. I changed my mind. You would just be like, whoa, what? Are you kidding me? Oh, crazy.
Yeah, I I couldn't say it any better. But now, kind of closing the book a little bit on your season, I want to ask you one last question. This is kind of a question that here and there, kind of comes up a lot with fans they want to hear as like a hypothetical question. So they've done a season. They've done it actually a couple times, but called Battle of the Seasons, where they have like each real world season. They have two guys from a season and two girls. Say it's you, another guy, and two girls to round out an explosion Battle of the Seasons team. Who would you choose for the team?
Dude, I wanted this. I wanted this. This is when I originally thought I was going to be on the challenge. I thought they were going to do Battle of the Seasons. And then they didn't. And I was so for it. Dude, I honestly, listen, I'm good. I'm cool with Corey. I'm cool with Tom. I would take either one of them as a partner. Corey is obviously going to be stronger, but Tom is more level-headed. And then as far as the girls go, Ashley obviously is a fucking G at this game, and Jen is obviously a G at this game. So it's like you put me and Corey together, Jen and Ashley together. Just because I can't eat fucking fish guts doesn't mean I can't do every other challenge. Let's not forget, I did not come in last in any of the challenges that we did. So I would have loved to do it, and I still to this day would love to do it because our season would for sure outshine every other season. There's no question. There's no doubt in my mind. Tell me, anyone who's watching this can comment below right now and tell me any season that could put 4 people, 2 chicks and 2 dudes together that would beat that 4 that I just named. Go ahead.
All right, yeah, we'll leave it up to them once this is up. I'm actually curious to hear because that's a season I've wanted to come back. Although now it's sort of like, although many of us, if not all of us, are hoping that it'd be the traditional way, which would be real world. MTV's logic in mind, I personally can't really see them doing like a all real world seasons of like Battle of the Seasons. I feel like if that format were to come back, they'd like pull some wonky shit and be like Team Real World, Team fucking UK survive. Like it would be like Battle of the Shows,
And you know what? That would be a good one too. When they did, when we showed up on Battle of the X's and what's the other show where they go for the $1 million? They were on my season. They find love to match.
Are You the One?
Are You the One? There you go. Jesus Christmas. Yes, Are You the One? When we showed up and we saw Are You the One cast, we were like, oh, this is so gonna be Are You the One versus Real World. Like, this is gonna be it. This is how, and that's honest, in my opinion, that's what they should have done to meld like all the shows together. Was do a Real World verse, and then Real World versus Big Brother versus Challenge versus Are You the One? Like they could have done that. They still should do something like that, but there's just too many people from everywhere now. They're literally going on Instagram and they're like, oh, you got 1 million followers? Hey, you want to be on the challenge? Like that's how they're casting now. They casted someone from. Oh, I guess I can't even say yet because they didn't air it. None of this came out yet. Never mind. But they're casting people from like random hole in the wall shows. They're casting people just off of Instagram, like just. Wasn't one of them like just a fitness model on Instagram, and they casted that person? Like I don't know. They're just casting anyone now, so who knows what you're gonna get?
Hey, shit. I mean, I might get a call once this is up.
Dude, that ass though. They're gonna do a fresh meat. I wouldn't be surprised if they called like the people that do the podcasting. There's a couple people that are well known for doing the podcasts with everybody. I would not be surprised. That would actually be pretty cool because you're interacting with all of us and we interact with you, and like to put you in our situation so you could actually understand what it's really like since you're always on that end of the camera. I used to do Daniel Sykes and Andrew Kirk. They always did podcasts and they did interviews, and it was like it would have been cool to throw them on a season. You know what I mean? When they do fresh meat, throw them on. People know who they are because they interview us all the time. Like it would have been cool. It still would be cool. So honestly, you never know. You could get a call.
Shit.
You got my vote, Mikey. You got my vote.
Thank you. But yeah, I want to ask you now about maybe your overall experience because I mean, obviously, you mentioned earlier about what went on with your mom. What was your overall experience maybe on the Real World?
Like I said, I did Real World because of my mom. My mom had cancer since I was 8 years old. It was many, many years of fighting. I never really went far from home in case something happened. That was like the first time I really did go decently far from home, and of course, but the real world itself, the first 6 weeks, fantastic. It was great. I was having a blast, and then obviously I got that news from my dad, and it was very unexpected. Um, One thing, like I left when I got the call from my father on just a random day. We were hanging out, eating. The phone rings, and my dad's like, "Hey, this is what happened." It was devastating. I was crushed. I was breaking chairs in the house. I left, and I went home. Went to the funeral, wakes, everything like that. And I just wanted to be with my family. Um, I wasn't going to go back. And my father sat there and basically yelled at me and was like, "Look, you did this for her. Like, this all started because she wanted you to do it. Go finish it for her." And that's kind of what I had to put in my mind. Like, you know what? You're right. So she was sick for a very long time. She was fighting. She was in pain almost her whole life. I always wanted to be on TV. My brother always wanted to be a cop. My brother got hired as a cop. He was in the process of getting hired as a cop. I got on TV. My dad basically said it was like my mom was finally happy. Like she got to see everyone do what she wanted them to do, to where she doesn't have to be in pain anymore. And I just took it for that, kept that in my mind, and now basically went back, finished the real world for her, and everything I do now, I do with her in my mind. So all my Spartan races, all my CrossFit competitions, just anything I'm struggling with in life is like my mom fought cancer for 16 years. 16 years, 17 years. Like if she fought cancer for that many years, I could fight through anything in my way because nothing is going to be as difficult as that for that many years. So I just do everything I can for her and to make her proud. Like, I buy a house. It's like, I feel like my mother would be proud of me, I think of something. I'm like, no, like my mother would kill me if I did that. I can't do it. No, I'm good. Like I just live for her now. And my message to everyone else out there is, because I watched this happen yesterday, one of my friends yelling at their mom. It's so easy to get mad at your parents and yell at them, and it is what it is. But if you do that and then, God forbid, something happens, that's the last thing that you have to remember them by. My last conversation with my mom was an argument, and I wish I could change it and take it back every day of my life over a stupid pizza box. She left a pizza box out, and she said, "I'm not feeling well. I have cancer. Don't forget that." And I'm like, "It's fine. I get it. But throw the fucking pizza box out. Like, get up and get it out." And like, I had to be the rock in the family because I have a younger brother. So it was more of a tough love thing. And I think she knows it was a tough love thing because once your mind gives out, your body gives out. So I didn't want her to just sit on the couch and do that. I wanted her to get up and throw that stupid pizza box out. It wasn't about the pizza box. And I think she knows that it was tough love, that I wanted her to mentally be there. Like, yeah, I can get up and I can do this. It's not going to stop me. And that was one of the last conversations I had with her. And it's like, if I could tell anybody, just don't argue with them. It doesn't matter what it is or what it's about. Don't do it. Just think about that, because God forbid you're going to wake up that next day and you're going to regret it. You're going to hate yourself for it. And I hate myself for that every single day. And that's like the best advice I can give anybody else out there. If you do get into an argument or you snap, call. Sorry, Ma, I apologize. I'm just having an off day, whatever the case is.
That's a really powerful message, man. I'm glad you were able to share that with us.
Yeah, it eats at me every day, dude. Every day it eats at me.
But we'll move into the challenge now. Coming on to the challenge, it's another X's type deal. What was maybe your feeling coming into that though? You got Tom there, so you're familiar with some of the people that are going to be there. How was maybe your approach coming into that?
All right, I gotta change mindsets here. It was a I'm like, my head's all over the place now. It was a combination. You know what? It's just a tough topic, and I haven't spoken about it in a while. because I haven't really been on any shows or done anything. So now to kind of talk about it like brings everything back, and it sucks. I miss her like crazy. All right, going on to the challenge now. There's a lot of people that I watched the challenge when I was younger, so it's weird because you kind of look at these people and you're like, they're famous, they're on TV, all this, and now it's like I'm gonna be them, like I'm gonna be with them. So it's intimidating, but you got to go in with a strong presence as well. My thing was just kind of to lay low. Like after a couple, I wanted to feel everything out, and after a couple days, you could see who was gonna get themselves in trouble, who's got a big mouth. So it was like, you know what? Let's just slide under the radar. And sliding under the radar worked. That is literally what worked. I wish I didn't do it. I wish I would have went up there and been myself and just fucking yelled at everybody and cursed, fought somebody. I could care less. But I tried to play the let's just float under the radar card, and it kind of just floated me to not really much attention of even being on the show, I guess. You know, I was placing second in every single competition we did. Never went into elimination because I didn't start drama with anybody. But if someone started with me, I wasn't afraid to use that to my advantage. You know what I mean? But I wish I would have went out heavier. Wish I would have came in hot instead of trying to play the let me sit in the corner card, which, like I said, I think it helped and it worked. But I would rather have just been my normal self, blown my lid, punched somebody in the face, and got kicked off.
Yeah. But Wes kind of got you and Tom in his little circle.
Wes played me. Ah.
What's your thoughts on Wes?
He's a conniving genius. He's smart. He's a businessman, and he looks at the challenge as a business. And there was people that have been on the show forever, and there was a lot of rookies. It was the first time that there was a lot of rookies, and he took that upon himself because him and Johnny they have a war for 30 years now. And he was like, you know what? They're not going to be on my side. But because I'm against Johnny, maybe I can rally the troops. And he was in our ear like, look, there's more of you than there are of them. I can be your leader and tell you what to do. I've done this a couple times. I can help you. Just don't tell them I'm helping you. And, oh, yeah, don't throw me under the bus as well. And we were like, all right, you know what? Like, he knows what he's doing. We know him and Johnny hate each other. Let's use this to our advantage. And he basically pitted us all against, like, he drew the line. Wes is the one who drew the line in the sand of it's going to be young people versus the older guys. And little did we know that he also had deals with the older guys. He had deals with fucking Johnny. He had side deals with Leroy. He had side deals with everyone. He's a businessman, and he played that game as a business. And kudos to him because he did it.
Yeah. That was at least what I would feel, and a lot of people would agree with me. That was Wes's best political season that he ever played, and it just so happened he got kind of fucked over in the end with the whole twist with Johnny getting back in the game.
Yeah, but he deserved it. You know what? Karma, bro. And like I say, everything happens for a reason. He had, and this was on when we did the reunion, they brought this up as well. The challenge, like the memory challenge, the trivia challenge. Sorry, the trivia challenge. Jenna and I, let's not forget, Jenna and I won the trivia challenge. Now, the final two were Jenna and I and Jordan and Sarah. And Jordan, while him and I are hanging 40 feet in the air, I'm like, Jordan, it's just us two left. We both got 2 strikes. Let's agree right now. If either one of us loses, we don't throw the other one in. Like, I'm trying to play the game too. You know what I mean? I'm trying to play it smart. Like, we're both up here. Let's make this deal right now. Either one, if I win, I won't throw you in. How do you feel about that? And he was like, don't care. I got to look out for the other Johnny. He was like, I'm not good with that deal. And Sarah's like, Jordan, are you kidding me? And that was it. It was like, all right, cool. So if I win, I'm throwing you in. He was like, fine. 4 seconds later, we win. And we're like, Jordan and Sarah, going in, done deal. It was set. And then Wes comes over, chirping in the ear, which I after he brought it up, I thought was a kind of a good idea, was let's keep Jordan and Sarah in our pocket now. They owe me one. If I have every right to throw them in, and they knew that they were getting thrown in. So it's like, look, I won't throw you in. You owe me big time, like big time. Because Jordan would be facing his best friend, potential of going home. Now you owe me big time. Then on the other end is Leroy and Naya. She quit half of the challenges. She didn't even do half of them. So it was like, what? I'm not scared of them. I'll compete against them. Leroy's an animal, 100%. But I'm not scared because he's got his partner who quits every time. So it was like, you know what? We could throw them in. Now, they're either going to go home or Avery and Johnny are going to go home. So either way, a good team goes home. They haven't won anything, so they're not going to win and throw me in. It's a win-win for me. I was like, you know what, Wes, you're right. And Wes played me. I should have just stuck with my gut and threw Jordan in for what he did. But again, think about it, in the end, I still made it to the final, so it all worked out. It was just Wes orchestrated that whole thing. Conniving genius, bro.
Yeah. We're going to get into some of your dynamics with some of the other people from that season in a bit. But I want to ask you now about the first episode. You were kind of the hot commodity. Your favorite letter in the alphabet, J. Your name, your ex, you know. Yeah. Pretty much every girl in that cast. Could you talk to me maybe about the whole Jessica and Jemmy thing first? What the whole dealio with that was?
Yeah, wow, okay. So once again, Wes got into talking. Everyone knows on the show that John A. and I had a little thing going. So before it actually happened, we were flirting with each other a lot. And then it was like, someone was like, oh yeah, well, it's John A. and then your ex is Jenna. And they were like, didn't you bang Jess from Portland? And it was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then someone else just chimed in and was like, wait, you were just hanging out with Jemmy, like posting Instagram videos and stuff at Jemmy's house. And then someone was like, John A., Jenna, Jess, and Jemmy, all J's. And then if you look at it, my ex prior to all of this was Jess Andrietta, who was on Are You the One prior to all this. And before her was Jessie. And it was literally like all of my exes had J's. And then John A. had the J. So it was like, we just kind of played that up and used that to our advantage to get John A. like flirting back and forth until what happened.
So was there anything going on between you and Jessica and Jemmy, or?
Yeah, I gotta go. I don't know how to answer that question. Yes and no. I hung out with Jemmy quite a few times. I don't think we did anything more than make out. When we got it's funny because Jemmy was right before the challenge. We went to do, like, when you get casted for the challenge, you have to go to the doctors and get like a psych done and all that other stuff. And we ended up showing up to, like, at the same time we showed up and we were like, I was just with you yesterday. Why didn't you tell me you were coming? And she was like, well, I'm not allowed. I'm like, yeah, me neither. And we started laughing about it. Like, we were still talking to each other at that point. I think Portugal had won the World Cup game, one of the World Cup games, and we were hanging out and getting drunk and all that together. And she was like, when we go on the show, are you going to go back to Jenna? Are you going to ignore me? This and that. And it was like, no, I'm not. And then we got on the show, and she fucking did the exact thing she was saying that I was going to do. And she pitted me and Jenna against each other, told everyone that her and I never knew each other, didn't make out, didn't hang out, nothing. And I was like, holy shit. Like, she bipolared me, and I was like, wow, like, that's crazy. Blew my mind, completely blew my mind. And we basically hate each other ever since. And she also likes to talk a lot of shit on Twitter and all that. Jess from Portland, awesome girl, love her to death. She was visiting New York prior to the challenge as well. She was visiting New York for a couple days. So I was like, hey, come hang out. I'm going to I got to do a dinner with someone from Mob Wives. Come with me. Brought her with me. We hung out. We had a great time. Whatever happened. And then we got on the show. I ended up hooking up with John A., and it just followed suit that everyone's name was Jay.
Did you try to pick up anything off the show with John A., though?
No, I didn't. She lives in Cali. I live in New York. There was no shot. And she reached out a couple times. I responded, but it just kind of died out. Like, it was awesome while we were there. She's a beautiful girl. Beautiful. But she lives 40 states away. Like, in my head back then, there was no shot anything could happen. My DMs were blowing up with girls trying to just do whatever just to say they did. So I was like, I can't get involved with a girlfriend right now. Like, I got 67 DMs in the last 7 seconds. I got to rock this out. You know what I'm saying? So, no, nothing, literally nothing ever came from it. I don't even think we follow each other on social media, to be honest.
Oh, wow. But yeah, now I kind of want to dive into some of your dynamics. Actually, no. Before we dive into your dynamics, I want to ask you about the layup term. Since that's pretty much since it was used on you and Jenna, it's been the staple of every season. Every season, the person that they consider like, all right, this is the ideal matchup, they call them a layup. So it started with you guys, and now it's pretty much the staple term. So, do you feel as though you were deserving of that moniker? Or you think it was kind of undeserved?
They had no reason to give it to us. That was the thing. I don't know why we got it. It doesn't make sense to me. I think it was just at that point we were new. We weren't. I'm not bigger than any of those guys. Jen is not better than any of those girls, like competition wise. So I think they just were like, oh, this is an easy win. They're the layup. We never came in last. Like, there were teams that came in last more than once. There were plenty of teams that came in last. We never came in last. So what earned us the title as the layup? You know what I mean? We never came in last. We held our own. We almost won 2 of them. And we did win the trivia challenge. So what deemed us as the layup? Now, I know, of course, I filled those shoes on the final, but we weren't layups. And up until that eating challenge shit, we were fucking killing the final too. We were halfway, like, we were 30 minutes ahead of Leroy and Teresa. We were right on Jordan's ass. We were there. We are not layups. Neither of us were layups. I still, to this day, believe that I am better than 90% of the people on the challenge, athletic-wise. You want to come into athleticism? I'm 90% better than all of them. Like, without a doubt, it does not cross my mind. I just can't eat shit, all right? That's what we know. Were we layups? No. I don't really care. Anyone can say whatever the fuck they want. We were not layups, even though I ended up filling those shoes in the end. It is what it is. I'm glad that we contributed to creating a new term, though.
Hey, have they called you about giving you copyrights to that, or?
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. I should be getting paid every time they say it. 37 cents every time someone says that they're a layup. I get the term. I get it. I understand what it means, but we were not that. We literally almost won three of the eliminations. We won the trivia one. We never came in last. Like, there was never a time where people were like, "Oh, they're out. Like, they're gonna come in last in this one," or like it was never in question. So that aggravates me that we were that, and it pisses me off even more that I pretty much proved them right, I guess you can say.
But yeah, now we could dive into the dynamics with some of the people I want to talk about. What was maybe your dynamic with Zach? Because I asked, because obviously we know he's engaged to your ex, and that was when they met on the show.
You're welcome. You're welcome, guys. You're welcome. I've done a lot. I've done a lot for this show, okay?
Tom talked to me about his little unseen encounter with Zach. He said that he was talking to Jenna, and then, like, Zach was getting mad on the show, and then I think Knight came up to him and said, "Oh, Zach's getting mad," or whatever, and then he approached Zach to say, like, "Hey, no, nothing's going on. Like, I'm not trying to, like, get with Jenna or anything." And then Zach told him, like, "Oh, well, you're not a threat to me anyway, so
yeah, I remember that. You're not a threat to me anyways. Yeah. Oh, fuck.
What was your dynamic with Zach?
I didn't care. Jenna and I were exes. When we got off Real World, I don't think we spoke for months after Real World, like not a peep. And then we showed up on the show together. So it was a mutual thing that we broke up. I wasn't dying over her. So if someone wants to get with her, that's perfectly fine. I don't care. Now, here's the thing. You're going to get with my ex. I'm going to get with your ex. You want to play the game? I'm going to play the game. I don't give a shit. It didn't bother me. The only thing that probably bothered me is his arrogance, that he thinks who he is and he thinks he's the best and all this shit. And it's like, no, you're not, bro, because guess what? She was with me first, right? I could play that album. I hit it first too. I just choose not to because I have respect for the girl and I have respect for her family. I knew her family. I respect her. She can make her own decisions. You want to be with her? Perfectly fine. Be my guest. But don't be a cocky bastard about it. Like, he's called me an elf or something like that. Like, yeah, I'm short. I get it. But guess what? She's on the show because she was with me. You know what I mean? So don't be a dick about it. That was my only thing. I could care less. He thinks he's hot shit. He's not really hot shit. But I don't really hate the kid. I just didn't like his arrogance about it. That was all, his cockiness.
Yeah, no, this season especially, and I mean we've seen it on prior seasons, but this one was on the kind of the forefront, and it's him more specifically, but like their relationship's been under scrutiny by like the audience, especially like, I mean I don't know how much of the show you watch these days. I mean we'll get into like a little bit later on, but yeah, their relationship because they had like a bunch of dust ups on this past season where he wasn't on it, she was, and he was like Skype calling her and stuff and like accusing her of cheating on him and shit. Do you?
Yeah, but dude, he cheated on her when they were on like the second show or whatever. She calls him, right? He's on the challenge. She wasn't. She called him and she was like, "Do you know who this is?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's Brooke." And Jenna was like, no, it's not." Like, he was cheating on her. She cheated on him in the beginning. Like, they both cheated on each other, so of course they're going to get scrutinized. I mean, but honestly, relationships, when they're in the limelight, every little thing becomes a big thing. You can get over certain things, but then when it's talked about or when the cameras change the dynamic of it or make it seem something like it's not, then things escalate, and that's kind of what happens. It's different from just being regular people at home when in a relationship and having people commenting 1,000 comments about something on your Instagram posts and people saying stuff on TV like, "Oh, I think he did that." Like, now you're like, well, did you do it? No, I didn't do it. Yeah, but he said you did, and he was there on TV with you. Like, you know what I mean? Everything kind of, it's different. It's just a different aspect. It's a totally different dynamic. All that I can say is they're happy. If they're happy, they're happy. You know what I mean? I congratulations to them. I didn't even want to. I think I did tweet actually congratulations to them. I'm happy for them. I don't care. I have no hard feelings towards either of them. I've moved on. They've moved on. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. What about Bananas though? Your dynamic with him.
New phone. Who that? I don't even know who the fuck that is. I don't care. I don't care for him. That's all it is. Same thing. Thinks he's number one. Thinks he's hot shit. Never worked a day in his life. So I don't want to hear shit. He's a douche. I had respect for him going in, and then seeing him in person, how he acts, how he talks, how he doesn't shut up. It's annoying. It's aggravating. He always has something to say. He thinks he's better than everybody else. Like, dude, he grew up rich. His parents have money. He never worked. He said he never worked a day in his life. How can you have any respect for anyone that's never worked a day in their life? You can't. He doesn't know what the concept of money is. He doesn't have the morale. That's why he was able to steal that money away from Sarah. Like, he didn't care. I just don't care for him. I really don't. He thinks he's hot shit. In my opinion, he's a loser. He's got nothing outside that show. Nothing.
Yeah, he kind of seemed like he was coming for you a little hard. It didn't really seem like you had much of a issue with him, and he seemed to have more of an issue with you.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna sit there and back down. I'm not a bitch. I'm not like that. I will be cool with you. I'll give everybody the benefit of the doubt. The minute you come for me, I will flip that switch and I will come right after you. And I even told him on the reunion of the challenge, said, you can get up right now and I will break your face. I will put your jaw straight down your fucking throat. And he had nothing to say. He sat in his seat like this. That's what he did. He sat there like this. And I was like, I will fucking crush you. And he would just give his little one-liners. That was it. He'd give the little one-liners. And it's like, all right, you could talk all this shit. Get up. Get up. Get up right now. I will put your fucking teeth right down your throat. Get up now. Oh, you think you're... And like, he would just have some stupid little one-liner again. And it was like, I'm over you, bro. Like, you're a bitch. You talk all this shit. You can't back it up, plain and simple. He talks behind everyone's back, and he jokes about it to everyone's face. Get up and do something about it. I would have put him in the ground 10 seconds into that. And I offered. He didn't accept it. He didn't take me up on that. I would love to compete. I would love to go up against him. I would love to. And if he wins, I will get up and I will shake his hand. But I would love to go up against him in anything and just see how it went. I'm down for that.
Hey, I mean, you never know. Maybe you'll get a call and you'll accept, and then we'll see.
I want it. Set it up. You're going to get called for the next one, too. So when you go there, call it, set it up. I'm going. Heads up. Me and him. I'm in.
All right. Well, now I want to ask you about because Naya and you seem to be cool, and weren't. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, you guys had that little thing upstairs when everybody was like, I think it was when Wes voted, set up the elimination with what was it, bananas? He voted in or something like that, and then you guys were upstairs, and then like, you know, you all were kind of having a good time. Like, it seemed like you and Naya were cool. Why did she kind of come for you towards the end of the season and on the reunion?
I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. Her and I were cool. And she actually did one of the nicest things ever. And the 1 year anniversary of my mom's passing, what took place while we were out there filming. And she got like a note from my dad and talked to production and allowed like a phone call between me and my father. She got like, she put like roses together and like did this whole big thing for me and like left it in my room and was like, here, you know, I got this, or like my dad mailed her a picture. Like, it was something that she went out of her way and did. And I was like, oh my God, like, that's amazing. That's awesome. I had so much respect for her. And then I don't know what happened. I think she had an issue with Jenna and I stuck up for Jenna and she just like came at me. And to this day, I could not tell you what sparked the beef between Naya and I. I really don't know. She was amazing to me in the beginning. And then all of a sudden it was like one day we woke up and she was like, no, you suck too, and you're a fucking pussy. And I was like, what the fuck just happened? Like, I was lost. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, all right, you know what? You go do whatever the hell you want. And from that moment on, she was a totally different person and disliked, like, we just didn't vibe for the rest of the season. And then it got worse when the shit with Jordan happened. And she pulled his pants down and whatever, all that. And it was like, I disagreed with that. And she wasn't happy about me voicing my opinion about that. And it just, then she was like, oh, well, you shouldn't be in the final. Like, Johnny should be in there because he's been on 10 seasons, which that's the whole thing that I hated was, oh, he should be in the final because he's been here for 10 seasons. I don't give a fuck how many seasons he's been on. If you don't earn it each season, you don't get there each season. It's football, baby, right? Each team, you earn it that season. No one says, oh, yeah, let's let the Patriots go to the Super Bowl because they were in it last year. No. You try and take them out. And that's how it should be. And that was what I wanted to do. And I was good with it. And then Naya blew her shit about that too.
Hey, Jay, before you keep going, I know you brought up the Patriots. I don't know if you can see it behind me.
Yeah, Seahawks, I saw the Seahawks. I know. I saw that earlier. You know, I like it.
Just be careful with what team you're bringing up around here, right?
I know. Listen, I'm not a Patriots fan. I'm not. I'm a Giants fan, so it is what it is. But it's just a perfect example. Like, the Patriots are in the Super Bowl every year. They earn that every year from the first week till the end. It's a fresh thing. So now you go to the seasons of the challenge. That's how it should be. It should be fresh, not like, oh, you're a rookie. You have to go in every single time like they did with West. They sent them in 11 times. No, he earned it. People, like, they just didn't want to throw Johnny in because he just deserved to be there in the final. No one deserves to be in the final unless you earn the final. That was one of the things that bothered me about Johnny was it was like he should be there no matter what.
So now this is the last name I'm going to ask you about now. What about you and Jordan?
I'm cool with Jordan. Jordan and I, when we first got on the season together, right away everyone was like, yo, you and Jordan went back and forth on Twitter, which we did. He screamed at Jess McCain. He screamed at her, you suck, this is blah, blah, blah. And I went right to Twitter and was like, you are a fucking pussy. And I'll stand by that statement because no guy should ever scream at a girl like that. You shouldn't treat a girl like that. You never hit a girl. You never put your hands on a girl. You never scream at a girl like that. You just shouldn't. That's just how I was raised. Right? I took care of my mom my whole life. I was raised that you don't treat girls like that. So when I saw that, I was like, look at this fucking kid. Like, yeah, come on, hit me back. Like, pick on me. You know, that pick on me, pick on someone your own size type thing. And he came back at me and was like, yeah, how about you just watch me on TV or you sit on your couch while I'm on TV? And I was like, all right, bet. And then 2 weeks later, I was out there like, yo, what's up? Not watching you from the couch anymore. Let's do this. And we ended up actually just having a lot in common. And he spoke to me and said that he apologized to her afterwards. Didn't mean it. He just blew up. And it was like right then and there, we were able to just kind of squash it. And it was like, all right, cool. Let's go from here on forward then. If you're cool with it, you apologize to her. We're cool. Let's just move on. You're great. I feel like you're a great competitor. I've watched you before. Let's work together. Let's see what we could do. If he would have been like, oh yeah, fuck you, and then it would have just been a war the whole season. So he came at me correct. I came back at him correct, and we squashed it.
Mm. Yep. But now, we kind of talked about how the final unfolded with, the whole eating thing. Not to basically, water under the bridge at this point, but I kind of want to ask you now, like, do you maybe regret, not drinking or, the liquid or whatever it was, so you guys had to put down your 10 pounds, or like, would you, if you were able to go back in time, would you maybe change it?
I could cut you off right there. I mean, if I could go back in time, I would 100% change it. I would rather not make the final than have it ended the way it did. Do I regret it? Absolutely. 100%. What people don't realize is that it wasn't just I took a sip and was like, I quit. I can't do this. I'm going to go home, guys. It wasn't like that. There was, 5, 6 glasses. You had to drink the full pint glass before you could move on to the next one. If you threw up any of it, they refilled that same pint glass. So I would drink half the pint glass, throw up. They would fill it right back to the top. Jenna would drink half, throw up. They would fill it right back to the top. I kid you not, God's honest truth, we probably, without finishing that challenge, we probably drank more of that shit than everyone else who did finish it. But both of us kept throwing up, and every time you threw up, they refilled it. And after an hour and a half of throwing up, that was when Leroy and Teresa finally caught up and then passed us. We were miles ahead of them. Athleticism, right? We kayaked 10 miles, blew them out of the water. I will never quit. We had to jog for a couple miles, blew them out of the water. I had Jenna on my back for a portion of it. They don't show that, though. Anything athletic, I will never give up. I will never quit. This was not a matter of me giving up or quitting. This was 2.5 hours of trying to drink fish guts that was in the sun for 17 days. And I just couldn't keep it down. That's all it was. I just couldn't keep it down. And then after throwing up for 2 hours, my eyes were just raw, just tearing. My nose was running. My stomach was killing me from throwing up so much. It just got to the point where I was like, you know what? Can you do this? And she was like, I could do this one, but I don't know if I could do all of them. And I was like, then fuck it. What's the point? It's been 2.5 hours and we haven't finished one glass. Like, what's the fucking point? And then I tried to be the good guy and was like, I'll take the heat. Don't care. Like, if you're not going to be able to do it and I'm not going to do it, just blame it on me and we'll call it a day. Little did I know that was going to turn out to be like, Jay's a pussy, can't drink the drink, like my label for the next 17 years. If I knew that that's how it was going to come about, then it would have been different. TJ asked us 3 times if we wanted to quit. We said no. They timed us. They said, all right, you have 60 minutes to finish this. We didn't get it done in the 60 minutes. We technically got timed out, but it makes better TV to say that we quit and all this other shit. So then after the 60 minutes, he's like, that's it? You guys done? We're like, I guess so. Whatever. Like, it is what it is. And now I hold the title for being the biggest bitch on a final.
It is what it is, man. Happens.
Dude, do you think I don't get this every day from everyone? Like, I get crushed. I get crushed everywhere I go. Like, half the world hates me and half the world loves me. And then the other half is like, oh, you couldn't drink the drink, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's me. Yep, I'm your guy. Like, it sucks. And that's why now more than anything, I want to get back on, because I want to show people that that's not who I am. That's just one stupid side of me that, with all the things that were built up, at that moment, it just didn't work for me. Again, I said it, I will run circles around every one of them. I will run circles around them. Athletics, I will kill them. My stomach won't allow me to hold fish guts down. I'm sorry. I just can't do that part of it.
Yeah. But now, this next topic is quite interesting one. I just talked to you earlier about, what transpired this season with Jenna and the whole Zach thing. A big thing that was rumored, like, was like the stem of what was going on. Because you know how, like, I'm sure you're aware of, like, how the spoiler team of, like, the challenge and, like, everyone finds out, like, all this rumors and, like, what goes on and all this shit. Like, people were speculating about Zach. The reason that he was getting mad was him finding DMs between Jenna and Corey, right? So then when I had Tom on, this was probably about 4 months ago, I had Tom on, and we were talking about it, and then he basically dropped the whole thing of that at some point after your guys' real world season, Corey and Jenna had hooked up, and then that shit blew up all over Twitter and Instagram, right? And then they even did a thing on they had a whole shit they should have shown edition of this past season to, like, kind of like not, yeah, basically they addressed like the whole rumors and whatever, right? But I want to basically ask you, did you know about, Jenna and Corey happening? And if so, did that impact your relationship with Corey at all?
All right. I knew, but I didn't know. Like, I knew, inside I knew. But to this day, neither one of them has ever told me officially, yes, that they hooked up. But then again, I hung out with Bruno many times. I got him hired to host Spring Break for MTV and for Inertia Tours. And I found out later on that they had hooked up as well. Like, I knew something was going on with Corey. I knew about the DMs. Obviously, when social media blew up, I realized it. I could see the way they were talking, the way they were acting with stuff. I knew the deal. I knew what it was, but they both played it behind my back. I never held it against Corey because I never really looked into it or knew officially it was true. I think that played a role in him distancing himself from me a little bit. Like, he would come to New York and wouldn't hit me up, but then I'd see pictures of, like, them two out, you know what I mean, with her cousin and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, so it's like that now. You know what I mean? Like, once those pictures surfaced, it was like, yeah, all right, something's definitely going on. You know what I'm saying? He would hit me up all the time, but then when he came to New York, I'd have to find out from other people, like, oh, yeah, we just saw him and Jenna out. And I'm like, oh, that's fantastic. He didn't tell me he was coming down here, you know? So I knew what was up. It's a shiesty move, but look at both of their situations over the past couple of years. There's a lot of shiesty moves going on. Like I said, she ended up hooking up with Bruno as well. She ended up hooking up with whoever else as well. I knew she was with that kid Mikey, but then cheated on him with Zach, then ended up with Bruno, and then whatever. Like, there's a whole spider web. And then Corey, I mean, we know all the situations he's been in already and who he was hooking up with. So it's like, what do you expect? You know, I don't expect anything good from anybody anymore. Just take it for what it is.
Yeah, it's weird because I don't know if you know Kayla. She's good friends with Jenna.
Didn't she just get engaged?
Yeah, she just got engaged. But you brought up the whole Mikey thing. She just went this past season. She cheated on Mikey. Keep in mind, her and Jenna are best friends on this show, and she dated Mikey for the past 3 or 4 years, whatever it was, right? And then Jenna is her friend, but she had dated Mikey before that. And then Kayla, on her first season of the challenge, is banging Corey left and right.
I know, dude. But this is what I'm saying. This is exactly what I just said. This is that spiderweb shit that I don't want to be part of. It's weird. It's fucking weird. I don't know. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's like someone using the same condom.
So glad I let you go. Yeah. It's the strangest thing, dude. I've never banged one of my friend's girls. I never have. And none of my close friends would ever do that to me. And that's how I look at that situation, is none of my close friends would do that to me. But I would never do that to anybody, and I wouldn't want to. And then when her and I broke up, Jenna was hooking up with Mikey. Jenna cheated on Mikey with Zach. After all the shit Jenna gave me for cheating, Jenna cheated on Mikey with Zach. Then next thing you know, Kayla's dating Mikey, and I was like, wow, that's fucking weird because they're best friends. It's some weird ancestral best friend. I don't know, dude. It's weird. It's very, very. I don't have words. I don't have words for it.
No, yeah.
I don't have words for it, but didn't she, her and Mikey were together for a while, and then I feel like she just met this new kid and is now engaged.
No,
If you know anything on that.
yeah. Wait till you hear like, and this isn't for anyone watching this. This isn't me expressing any pleasure. I don't disagree with it. I'm just stating what's obviously for people to see, so nobody don't come knocking on my door saying I'm a hater or whatever that.
Yeah, I don't actually know the story. I have no idea. Yeah. I'm curious to find out what is going on.
And it's crazy because right after this episode, I had Mikey on here. Like it's right after the episode aired. We didn't totally go too deep into what had happened because I'm not the guy to kind of strike a nerve or where open wounds. Like I'm not the type of guy to just pour salt in it. We didn't really talk totally in depth about it. Maybe just some little brief stuff. But
it's very respectful of you because some of these people were fucking dug right in.
Yeah. Well, I do know that, but yeah. So they go on this season. They were dating for 3 or 4 years, him and Kayla, and then she ended up hooking up with one of the UK guys. She made a comment to the effect of, oh, also by the way, keep in mind that the episode I had him on right after this whole thing with her cheating. Bananas and Wes go and take pictures of her and Mikey from her room and hang them on the ceiling where her bed was.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that happened, and so she made a comment, I think, saying like, yeah, I was dating a guy for 3 or 4 years. I was showing pictures of them. She was like, yeah, it was turning into more of a thing of where like we were getting closer to marriage, and I don't think I'm ready for that. And then I think December in real time is when she started dating the new guy she just got engaged to, and now they're engaged.
Right, now she's gonna do that whole marriage thing.
But the guy she just got engaged with just got off of a show called it was like basically an X on the Beach type of spin-off called like Peak of Love, which it was like X on the Beach without the beach, and they were like
I saw
like a ski resort or whatever the fuck they were in. So it is what it is, man. I mean, I'm not if it's good for them, I'm not gonna but it's
right.
Just,
well, that's what I always say. If they're happy, they're happy. But that unwinded very strangely. That whole thing from start to finish between Jenna, Zach, Kayla, Corey, all the way to Mikey being involved both ways. I'm not gonna get married though, but then I'm gonna date this guy for a month and get married. Like these reality people they just want to bang reality people.
Yeah, and they just I don't know how aware you are, but they the spoilers of who was quarantining for this next show coming up were rolling in and speculating. Everybody under the sun, like we talked about, was getting called. A big rumor started that, and somehow I got dragged into this on my page, was that Mikey was quarantining for the
Oh, God.
He hadn't even gotten a call. Like, he was just in Vegas. And then, people were asking me to find out from him because I had him on here. And I was like,
that's great.
He ended up, there was like a website that he ended up getting put onto, like on the cast or whatever, speculating. He didn't even get a call. So
that's fantastic. But see, this is what I'm talking about when I say like a relationship with normal people versus a relationship when you're in the spotlight is so different, because look at how that escalated. You're now getting dragged into something that you had nothing to do with, that came all the way around to something that he didn't even have anything to do with. You know, it's crazy. But I'll tell you what, they keep bringing all these random fucking people on the show anyway. You might as well bring them on there and stir shit up. Who gives a shit at this point?
Dude, could you imagine an X's season?
I don't want to be anything to do with an X. Can I please I want to go on a fucking show that doesn't involve an X. I want to have fun. I want to go out there and have a bunch of girls out there and be like, hey, what's up? I don't want to go out there and be like, oh, I have my ex. I have to be respectful and not do anything in front of her, which is what I did on the Real World. Then I got on the challenge and I'm like, well, I can't do anything because I feel bad for her. I had to make sure, like, she was crying a couple times on the show and I'm there, petting her back, and they don't, of course, obviously don't show any of that shit, but I want a show where I don't have to worry about that dynamic. Like, I want to be me where I can let loose, have fun, win, or break someone's face and get kicked off. Like, I just want one show without a goddamn X, please. But yes, it does make for drama, obviously, but it is what it is. That would be crazy, though. They got, oh my God, you put all 6 of them together. It's a show in itself.
Yeah, but we can close the door on the whole challenge thing. I want to ask you now, quick about some of the other appearances you made. You were on a Catfish episode, and I actually.
That's right, boy. Catfish.
Yeah, I had one of the. I don't know. Have you ever seen that GIF of the one guy from Catfish where he goes like, "You got me there," and he's like pointing.
No, I don't think so.
Oh my god! I feel like if you saw it, you know what I'm talking about. I could probably send it to you once we're all.
Yeah, send me it. Send me it. I'm curious.
Yeah, it was this one Catfish guy. I had like a bonus content episode that I released like last week. I did one with him. It was like yeah, him and this other dude like staged the whole thing. And when the episode came out, was at like I think the 2014 VMAs, and it was trending above Miley Cyrus. And that was like during the whole thing where she did the wrecking ball. Yeah, she had the whole wrecking ball performance or whatever, like at the VMAs, like at the height of that. So shit.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was interesting. But what was your Catfish experience like getting that call? Because weren't you like a cameo?
Yeah, I wasn't even on it. It was just my voice. They just did a phone call. It was the season finale, and they were looking for a way to hype it up. And when they were doing this, they checked this girl's Venmo. And because I guess the guy sent her money. So they were like, oh, let's check her Venmo account. And when they were scrolling through the Venmo account, my name came up. Like my MTV picture came up, and they were like, so in their minds, they were like, how do we spice the show up? He's somehow connected. Like, let's bring him involved. So then they used it to where on the commercials, they're like, oh, and guess who else is involved? And like, you just hear me talking, and they're like, they put my picture up, and it's like Jay from MTV. And then everyone's like, oh shit. Like, how did he get, like, everyone wanted to know if I got catfished, how I was involved. So it drew more of the MTV viewers. The actual situation was I never had Venmo. So someone had Venmo, and I guess you was using my picture as Venmo, and it said MTV on it. So I got a message, like a Twitter message from Neve, and he was like, hey, Jay, I'd love to talk to you about something. And I was like, oh, God, what the fuck? Like, that's not a phone call that you really want to get. I'm like, oh, shit, what? And then that's what it was. And it turned out that the girl slid into my DMs and was trying to get me to, like, send pictures and shit. Like, she was, I guess, trying to just get me to send, like, shirtless pictures or fucking dick pics or whatever. I don't know. But I don't bite on that shit. I never did. I never sent pictures. I never will. So it never went anywhere. But because we had that communication, it showed up on her Instagram, and someone else, I don't have Venmo, so someone else must have had Venmo and used my picture, and they just kind of combined the two. And I gave him whatever I could. She was hitting me up under a different name than what she was hitting up this other guy. Turned out to be a whole different fucking person, which I still don't understand this whole catfish shit. I don't get what people get out of doing that to other people. But I didn't get catfished. I just went on and told them my side of the story, that someone tried to hit on me and asked for explicit pictures, and I said no. And then they moved on and were getting money from some other dude, I guess. So they wanted to make sure I wasn't sending her money too. I was like, fuck no.
Yeah, and I saw from scrolling through your Instagram, you had an appearance on, what was it, like, it was a Disney movie, Tron?
Oh, you know what? I did, in that aspect, I did Mile 22 with Mark Wahlberg. I did Tron. And I did two other ones, but I always draw a blank on the damn name. So I just do the promos for them. Like, they'll call me and be like, hey, we're going to do an Instagram commercial. Like, you know, one of the ones where you're swiping and it's just like the ad pops up. So I just did that for them. I wasn't in the movie itself. I did the promotions for Mile 22. I did the promotions for Tron and a couple other ones. And it's more of just they use it for, like, the commercials or the Facebook ads or the Instagram ads, which is, it's kind of cool though, because they're sending me all this gear, they're paying me, and I'm getting to do cool photo shoots with very well-known photographers with stuff that I would have never been able to do prior. You know what I mean? So it's fun. I like doing stuff like that.
Yeah, that's pretty dope, man. But you know what? I appreciate you taking the time to do this with me today, and I had a blast with this. I'll be honest with you. You know,
That's it? You're kicking me off already? We just get started.
Hey, man. I mean, this is actually close to the longest one I think I did. Yeah.
Oh boy, I'm in trouble.
No, you're good. This is about the same time. You remember Dustin, right? From
Yeah.
yeah, him and I went the distance too on so.
Well,
Yeah.
I talk too much. That's also what it is.
No, you're good. This was a ton of fun. Maybe give the viewers something that maybe they didn't see a side of you on maybe your shows, and maybe address some questions that they might have had. And
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I've watched your stuff before, so I was happy. You know, it's kind of cool when, even for us, like it's cool when you reach out to me. But I'm happy to get my side of some of this stuff out because I haven't done a podcast or an interview in probably a couple of years. So the things that people thought, that stayed for the last couple of years. So now I hope I could clear up some of the issues and let people know, like, hey, this is why I haven't been on the challenge, or hey, this is what really happened. And I'll go back on there. I've gotten the availability call. Now I just need to get the final call. I'll go back on there and I'll crush half of them, and then I'll shut all those people up. So I'm glad that you allowed me the opportunity to come on here and actually give my side of this. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
yeah, no problem, man. I look forward to putting it out. I'll link you when this is all up, and take care, man.
Yeah, for sure. By the way, still rocking with the Giants, baby. Those Seahawks got nothing.
Hey, man, we'll see about that. All right, man. Stay safe.
Later, dude.
So.